Day one for the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. And what a start it would be for Jason Day. World number one, 60-foot birdie at 16. Day, of course, starting on the back nine. Rolls in the birdie. Played his first 9 holes at 5 under par. Be trouble on the back. Finishes bogey. It would be a 69 for the world number one as we are live at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. A 5-hour rain delay. Everyone back out on the golf course, and we're live. Coming up next.
Golf Central. Brought to you by Titleist.
Well, the horn blew just afternoon local time. It was a 5-hour delay. Everyone returned to the course at 4:50 local, and the skies have let up. Everyone back out on the golf course will get as much golf in today as humanly possible, and then come out in what looks to be a beautiful Friday finish up here. We are live once again in New Orleans. Proud to be here at the Zurich Classic. A great tournament once again this year with a great field, including 3 of the top 10 players in the world. One happens to be world number one, Jason Day. We just showed you a great birdie on the front, but finishes bogey. The defending champ is Justin Rose. He's number 10 in the world with Ricky Fowler sandwiched in between. Ryan Burr with Brandel Chambly, former world number one, David Duval. Guys, been a lot to get our arms around today with a 5-hour rain delay in the middle of it, but a tough finish there for Jason Day.
It certainly was. Wasn't a good day for a walk in the park or a picnic, but it was a good day for scoring. Mother Nature aside, there wasn't a whole lot of wind out here. The golf course was pretty soft. Jason Day looked like he was going to go out there and paint the town red, so to speak. A bit surprising bogey at the last, but still in a really good position, a position that he is not unfamiliar with, having had the 36 and 54 hole lead here last year.
Well, it's not surprising at all. Obviously a hard finish. This is a day where it was easy this morning. A lot of rain yesterday. Golf course is very receptive. No wind. You expected to see some scores. This golf course is set up with some space because they expected to blow 20 to 30. Rough finish for Jason Day, but these are the days that are difficult in professional golf because it's not just 5-hour rounds, 4.5-hour rounds. You go hit balls, do that, and leave. You know, this shows that it's not a bubble. That you have to have some mental fortitude to get through these big delays.
He has played 8 of his last 9 rounds under par. That would continue today, but we hope to hear from Jason Day, not the finish he would have hoped for. Let's get to the action from the world number one. First world number one to play the Zurich Classic since Mr. David Duval in '99. And Day, 3 birdies in his first 6 holes. Here he is at 16 with a long bender.
Well, on average, he makes 82 feet 3 inches of putts a day. Well, this was just about 20 feet short of that mark in one stroke. Some 60 feet away, and that put him 4 under par on his day through his first 6 holes.
To 18, the par 5, and he always plays the par 5s well, especially here in New Orleans.
This is something that we've become very familiar with over the last number of years with Jason Day. Towering high long iron shot into a par 5, gets it to come down softly, leaves himself 30 or 40 feet for eagle.
He would 2-putt that for birdie, move to 5 under, would need just 13 putts on his first 9, which was the back 9. His next 9, it would be a different story. The putter went cold, 20 putts in all. That lips out as he falls to 4 under, now moves to the second, the par 5.
Well, that's right. On a day when there wasn't a whole lot of roll, he averaged 304 yards off the tee. Only one player in the field averaged longer off of the tee. That's exactly how far this drive went, which left him just 252 yards into this green, which he negotiated with an iron, which set up this look at eagle. A good look at that, and a comfortable bounce-back birdie for the number one player in the world.
And a little tap in there, so he runs to the 4th hole after running a birdie 5-foot past. Has this to save.
Yeah, not the best speed here on his first putt. Blows it by. That one catches the lip, spins out. Ugly bogey.
Yeah, 3 putts, his second 3-putt of the day. So from 5 to 4 to 5, back to 4 now. Here he is at 6.
25 feet, and this is a man who is one of the best from that distance on the PGA Tour. Of course, the best being Jordan Spieth, who makes almost 12% of those, and back to a place where he can lick his chops after a drive of 331 yards. David?
Another towering long iron shot into the par 5 7th. Just a beautiful golf shot. This is when it makes it easy. You know, you just hit a drive down the fairway, knock it on the green, a couple putts, you hear the horn sound, and he'd have to wait a number of hours to have that eagle putt.
Yeah, about 4 hours and 50 minutes, guys. He would know that he would come back out with an eagle attempt at the 7th hole, and a real good chance at the very least to pick up a birdie and get back to 5 under. So play resumes about 4:50 local time, and Jason returns to that 7th hole, and here is the long eagle putt.
Yeah, poor lag putt at the first led to a 3-putt. A poor lag putt at the 4th led to a 3-putt. So here he is some 50 feet away, and that was just brilliant. Did everything but fall in and led to another birdie. And then look into the 8th hole. Believe it or not, he was 246 out of 246 on the year at that point from 4 feet and in. Had not missed, and that was his first miss.
And then comes the 9, the par 3, once again to save par. Once again skates by off the lip, and it's a bogey finish for the world number 1 Jason Day, a 69 3 under. Once again played his first 9 holes at 5 under, his second 9 at 2 over. And that last number, David, the putts 13 to 20, that certainly will tell you part of the story. So for Jason Day, 4 bogeys, they all come on his front 9, the second 9. And hey, listen, it's a tough day for everyone, especially when you sandwich in a almost 5-hour delay. How much do you read into the way he finished, David?
I don't really read a whole lot into it. The fact that you can get around the golf course, play it beautifully like he did, made a lot of birdies, a few little hiccups, some mistakes. That's actually a good thing. You can see that he wasn't quite firing on all cylinders when I was going through his round looking at it. And missing those little putts we saw coming down. You saw the bad lag putts through the round that led to some 3 putts, and then missing these little putts. They were bad speed. And, but the rate of growth on the greens has changed with, you get all this water on it, saturates them, sun comes out. It's hard to have your speed just right. I think he'll be all right tomorrow.
And it's hard not to look to the next 3 rounds and look at the number 1 player in the world and think that he might be either the winner or very close to it on Sunday. Power with touch on the greens is so rare. When you start to look at this generation of players, the longest drivers on the PGA Tour, and that is really what is missing. If you start to look at, these are the top 5 players on the PGA Tour in driving distance, and of course over on the right you see how they're now judged in putting, strokes gained, putting, and the best among them is Dustin Johnson. It is so rare when you see a player with both power and great touch on the greens. Down at the bottom you'll see Jason Day is 36 in driving distance, 3rd in strokes gained, putting. One of the reasons we talk about the previous era being so power prejudiced, probably that's a bit misleading. It was power prejudice to the degree that those players that had the power were also some of the best players, if not of that generation, of all time. Tiger Woods in 2000 was 2nd on the PGA Tour in driving distance. Guess what? He was 2nd on the PGA Tour on how they averaged putting in and putts per green in regulation. And Phil Mickelson, even though he hadn't won a major championship yet, everybody knew he was going to. He was 3rd in driving distance and 3rd in putts per green in regulation. So when you start to look at power accompanied with great touch on the greens, that's one of the reasons that Jason Day has ascended to number 1 in the world. David, you had that. It was one of the reasons you were number 1 in the world, and it is very tough to combat both power and touch on the greens.
Well, when you're playing, you're out with another competitor and they're hitting it that much further by you. They're making a lot of putts. I felt like when I was doing that, it gives you a excuse as much as anything to back off at times, to be kind of conservative and let other people around you make mistakes, because you can kind of blast away at times. And if you have to be conservative, pitch out, wedge on, you're a great putter. You're going to make some putts. And I know it sounds kind of silly but to be able to back off and know you're still going to make a lot of birdies, very few mistakes, that's a tough combination to beat. When a guy's hitting it that far, making lots of putts, pitching it beautiful, that's how you win lots of golf tournaments. That's how you send to the top of the game.
5th consecutive round for Jason Day, under par here at TPC Louisiana. As Brandel said, likely will be in the hunt, the world number 1 throughout the weekend. The guy that is leading right now put on an absolute exhibition with the putter. That would be Brian Stewart. We pick him up at 18. This is his 3rd.
Well, he does a number of things really well. He's 513th in the world, but his world ranking aside, there's only one player on the PGA Tour that's better than him outside of 200 yards. This was a lot closer to the green than 200 yards. It was a pretty good wedge shot to a tough hole location. Looking at a 63 here, David.
Yes, this is seemingly one of the only putts he doesn't make on the day. He had an amazing round on the greens, making it from everywhere, 14 to 15 inside 15 feet.
Indeed.
Come on.
21 putts in the first round, a career low in any PGA Tour round, and he didn't come in great form, made just 1 of 6 previous cuts on the PGA and Web.com Tour. But for a day anyways, that 64 sits at the top. We'll see if that putter can stay hot on Saturday. Ricky Fowler's missed a couple cuts here and missed his last cut, which was at the Masters. Find out how Ricky is taking on the Zurich Classic here in New Orleans. It's arguable what's better at the Zurich Classic, the golf or the food. Everyone seems to have their opinion. We're enjoying both today and tomorrow. We are live at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, and we're back after this.